Hey, what's happening, everyone? Sir James from Gamerfuzion.com, and in today's video, I have a lot of information in regards to Tom Clancy's The Division. Now, if you guys have been playing The Division since day one, you're probably noticing that it's probably getting a little bit boring and is lacking a lot of in-game content. Well, not to worry. If you didn't know, The Division actually has 2 free DLC content coming out, along with the content from the Season Pass. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because the first free DLC called Incursion will be releasing on April 12th on all systems, which introduces a brand new in-game activity, basically the raid mode, and of course other improvements along the way. So let's go ahead and go down this information, starting with gear. New gear is vital centerpiece of Incursion, which introduces 4 rare gear sets. We have Sentry's Call, Striker's Battle Gear, Path of the Nomad, and Technician's Authority. Set is meant to bolster a specific playstyle. For example, Sentry's Call promotes consistent precision, while Striker's Battle Gear is more focused for assault players, and so on. Finding and equipping 4 pieces of a single set unlocks a new, never-before-seen talent for your agent, which the developers aren't revealing quite yet. So first off, right off the bat, a lot of new gear sets to get, and depending on your playstyle, you have a gear set to correspond with that, and I think you might be able to mix and match, but we'll have to wait and see. Next up, your agent level is still capped at 30, but your gear score can boost your abilities beyond your level and are taught as a new way of leveling up for top leveled players. Loot trading is now possible. If you get good loot, you can now drop it on the ground and make it available for other players in your group. In the Dark Zone, you can only drop inside the Dark Zone gate. So pretty cool. So if you happen to get some cool items in the Dark Zone, as long as you're in the gate with your group, you could drop it for your teammates to pick up, and vice versa. If you're on the outside, you could do the same thing. So I think that's pretty cool. So I'm pretty sure if you have crafting materials, you could craft a nice weapon, give it to your friend, and back and forth, and then eventually you should be able to have all the high-end gear and weapons in the game. So that's going to be fun to check out. Next up, assignments are a new tasks. Killing 10 cleaners, for example, that are meant as a brief optional side goals in the update daily can earn you Phoenix credits, the Division tech, and other rewards. So those NPCs that you see roaming around that you sometimes kill or just ignore, if you happen to do whatever the assignment is at the time, you can possibly get some Phoenix credits, which is a nice way because people are always trying to find new methods on getting them instead of glitching and farming them. Next up, supply drops will periodically fall from the sky in the Dark Zone, giving you and other groups something to battle over. They'll also be protected by tough enemies, but the loot doesn't need to be extracted as it's not contaminated and can't be stolen once acquired. So again, if you've been participating in the Dark Zone, which as you guys know is a complete war zone at the moment, there's going to be supply drops that fall in, and if you happen to acquire the loot, not to worry, because if you die, you get to keep the loot because it's not contaminated and you're good to go. Next up, when your agent dies, you can now camera follow your teammates, seeing what they see and offering a tactical support. So if they're being chased by rogue agents or just other players because they're rogue, then you can kind of let them know what's going on, how many players, etc, etc. I don't really know how I feel about that. I kind of feel like not knowing what's going to happen and they not knowing what's going to happen is kind of a basically kind of free-for-all type of thing. Next up, Falcon Lost has 2 difficulties, which is basically the raid mode. Hard mode, which is recommended for players' gear score who's equivalent to level 31, and challenge mode, which is even tougher. Also, there aren't any checkpoints in Falcon Lost. If your team goes down, you will have to restart from the beginning. Additionally, you can replay Falcon Lost and other upcoming incursions as many times as you want and still be rewarded with new loot. So think of this as a Destiny raid, but much more punishing, where if you die, you have to go all the way from the very beginning. So again, squad play is very important here. Definitely recommend a good solid group of friends. Next up, enemies can now deploy drones, aerial enemies that will be tricky to hit. They'll also be pinted against an armored personnel carrier, which acts as a boss and is impervious to bullets, forcing you to find another way to deal with it. So kind of like the helicopter at the very end where you get to use the turrets to kind of weaken it and bring it down, this time you have an armored personnel vehicle that's going to be tough. So trying to figure out exactly how you're going to be taken out. Maybe there might be rocket launchers, who knows, we'll just have to wait and see. And of course, last but not least, Incursion will later be followed by another free update called Conflict, which adds a special incursion into New York's Columbus City Circle, as well as a new Dark Zone feature. Additionally, 3 paid DLC expansions are planned throughout the year: Underground, Survival, and Last Stand, which introduces new areas and threats to the Division's open world in New York. The Xbox One players will have 30 days exclusive early access to the first paid DLC. However, the next 2 after that will come out on all systems at the same time. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comment section down below. I gotta say, I'm really interested in the raid, but at the same time, Destiny update also kicks into play, so technically I'm going to be quite busy with both games. But let me know what you guys think about these changes and some of the additions that are bringing in. Do you guys like the whole supply drop heading into the Dark Zone? Do you guys like the whole camera follow aspect, so you kind of follow your teammates, let them know what's going on? But overall, I gotta say, this is a pretty neat update. I'm definitely interested to see what this gear has to offer and what that new hidden talent will be. But anyways, until then, I am Sir James from Gamerfuzion.com, where we empower your gaming.